What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kryptonite, because I believe that cryptocurrency and the blockchain are the kryptonite of our modern financial system, and I love it. And we desperately need it, guys. We absolutely need money and state to be separate. Just like in the past when we separated church and state, because those together were not working very well at all. Way too much manipulation and corruption. We separated those. Yay. Now it's time to do the same thing with money. The government has made a sham of our money. They have printed it and are printing it to oblivion to the point where it's literally a house of cards. So it's time for better money. It's time for Bitcoin. Guys, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. Do your own research. Entertainment purposes only. But you know what I'm about. Real currency, capped currency that cannot be printed, that is accessible to anyone and everyone worldwide. No holds bar. I love it. I love me some Bitcoin. Bought some more at 18,700 and then bought some more at 20. Well, I actually had previously bought pretty much all the way down from about 30,000 to 28 to 26 to 24 to 22. Hit kind of different buying prices. And eventually I got some at 18,700. So I'm pretty excited about that buy. And I'm going to continue just dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. It is my savings account. We know that, Social Security, probably not going to be around by the time I'm ready to collect it. That's going to be gone. So I can't really rely on that. And of course, I could rely on maybe a 401k and different things like that. And there's definitely, there are resources out there if you want to put your crypto into sort of a IRA. So I am looking into that, but I am still young and I want to be able to kind of be still pretty fluid about my investments in case I know that I could be wrong, and maybe in 50 years I'm regretting that I didn't put more stuff into an IRA to protect for taxes wise, but I'm sort of keeping my money loose as of now so I can see if I see investment opportunities, whether that be in crypto or in real estate, I can jump on those and I'll have the capital for those. And so I have not put my crypto into any sort of IRA protection against taxes. I'm still, I guess, betting on my ability to just use that money for investments over the next 5 to 10 years on different things and see if I can get a better return. Because obviously, the stock market with compounding is still a very smart, safe option if you don't want to be involved too much with your investments. If you want it to be more passive, definitely recommend throwing it into some real estate index funds, into some regular index funds, and just allow that to compound and not have to think about it. But I like to be a little bit more, I guess, hands-on with my investments, so I'm okay holding that. Anyway, guys, I made 2 trades over the last 24 hours. I won one and lost one. One was on US 30 that I was able to win, and I will show you guys exactly how and what analysis I did to be able to win that trade. And I also lost a trade on Bitcoin, and I'll show you exactly why I got into that one and maybe why that wasn't such a great idea. It wasn't the worst trade I've ever attempted, but maybe some more harder trading rules in place could help eliminate filter trades, basically. That's all you want to do as a trader. You want to just filter trades out. You want to just try to have the best possible trades. That means filtering out a lot of bad setups. So another bad news too, I had to restart my computer, so I literally lost all my charts. I had so many different charts with layouts and different things, and now I'm starting from absolutely scratch. So I spent most of today going through the dollar index, literally marking it out from each time frame all the way down, from the monthly all the way down to the 1 minute chart, marking things up, getting it prepped, so I can have because what I'm seeing, honestly, guys, is the DXY is driving a lot of the prices here. You see the DXY. I was telling you guys in my last video, the last couple of videos actually, about a rising wedge in the DXY, and we broke out of it, retested it, and then have been breaking down ever since. Now we've hit a little bit of a support level with the DXY. So I'll show you exactly what's going on with the DXY, because basically whatever happens with the DXY, the assets are going to all do opposite. Whether it be Bitcoin, NASDAQ, US 30, they're all going to literally do the opposite of what the DXY. The DXY is sort of the driver of a lot of these prices from what I'm seeing. So if you can predict where the DXY is going, then you can predict where, when is a good time to buy the assets, companies, stocks, those sort of things. So anyway, we'll get into that. So I'm back on the Bitcoin charts, as you can see, on the weekly time frame. And of course, guys, we have this 200 moving average, which I'm sure if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you've seen this talked about so often. From the very beginning of when the 200 moving average actually showed up on this chart, at least. We've got a nice little double bottom there where the second bottom got a little lower, came up in our last bear market. We had now according to this 200, because I've seen other 200s where it shows that we dropped below. So it's interesting. This chart may not go back far enough to maybe have as correct of a 200 moving average, because I've seen our last bear market that we actually dipped below and again made a nice double bottom. I'm gonna start trying to mark up my chart here, guys. I'm afraid I'm gonna kind of delete it. Oh, I can't delete it right after. Okay, so as you can see, we had a little double bottom here. Oh, see, I knew this was gonna happen. Okay. And we had a nice bounce, right? Very nice bounce. And then, of course, we had the COVID crash here. So that was sort of an anomaly. I don't know if you can really, look at that as much. But now we're here in the next bear market. And as you can see, we are forming this beautiful looking double bottom like so. And I need to figure out how I can delete. Because otherwise I have to go back here and then click on it and then delete it. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So very similar, right? We're at the 200 moving average, which is the average price. Price always likes to come back to the 200 moving average. It acts as sort of it wants to be that price, right? That's the average price. So as you can see, very similar at previous bear markets. This has been sort of the line in the sand. So it's very possible that we have bottomed and we are now forming that nice higher low on Bitcoin, which would be a change in market structure. And the next price target we'd be looking at would be about $30,000 according to this chart pattern if we continue. There's a lot of resistance within there that we'll get to. I don't have it all marked up too much, but I'm just going to leave that on the chart for now. But just so you know, yeah, we might have bottomed. Again, I'm going to be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin mainly. It's the safest cryptocurrency there is and the one I support the most. I mean, I like the other crypto projects. I own a lot of coins, guys. I own a lot of ADA. I own a lot of Ethereum. I have some NFTs. I have Polkadot. I have Solana. I have many other coins as well. Sandbox, Polygon. Those are some of my favorites. So I feel like I've already, spent a lot of money on altcoins. Now I'm kind of more just focused on just trying to get more Bitcoin. That's my main thing. A lot of these altcoins are going to come and go. Maybe, I think ADA could stick around. Obviously, Ethereum has stuck around and has, bullish things looking like it. But I just think the Bitcoin is king. It's the only still proof of work. Well, not the only one, but the only one that really people use. Proof of work, which I think is much better than proof of stake. I don't think proof of stake is bad. I just think proof of work is better. I think it's more decentralized and can stay that way longer. And proof of stake can be, I think, easily centralized, unfortunately, depending on how it's set up. I think ADA is doing a really good job of maintaining that decentralization with the way they run their pools and sort of not rewarding people if the pool gets too big, thus promoting that decentralization. So I'm a big ADA fan. I'm a little worried about Ethereum, to be honest. I look at it more like a company, just to be frank with you guys. I don't necessarily look at it as a decentralized cryptocurrency. I look at it as more of a company because they're able to still make a lot of changes to it. And you don't want really I like Bitcoin because no one really is going to be able to change it. And that's kind of the beauty of it. We don't want someone with bad intentions to alter it or have the power to alter it. And I know, it still takes a lot for some of these chains to be altered because they do have more sort of community voting, principles and things like that. So it does a little bit harder to make changes, which is a good thing. But sometimes the fact that you can still make changes at all shows that somebody is, or some people are able to sort of, centralize things somewhat and make changes. Anyway, that is more for another day. So the question is, where is Bitcoin going in the short term? And here you have, this is a nice little 1 minute chart. Let's go from the monthly to the 1 minute. As you can see, we're forming a little falling wedge here on the 1 minute and are breaking out. Because we have seen this is kind of a chart pattern I don't see very often on charts. And sorry for this. Again, I'm having to redo all my TA here, so it's going to be a little bit messy for a little while until I get it under control. But as you can see, guys, we're forming this sort of almost parabola type trend line, which is I've not seen anything like this in a long time. And we are beautifully, we had this nice little wick here. I did try to take a short position. I don't know if I have it up on the chart, so I could probably just find it where it was. But I saw this head and shoulders right here. I saw this head and shoulders, which I mean looks like a very clean head and shoulders. And the price target obviously should have been, from the top to about at least the first neckline, right? You maybe break that neckline. As you can see, we came close, and I had my price set about right here, so not like fully all the way down, but pretty close, and we just couldn't get to it, and then popped up. And a lot of that's just because we're just too bullish at the moment, and we're just not able to really make any lows. It's not really the time to be taking shorts, really. I mean, the price is just in this literal parabolic, style movement, something I haven't seen in a long time. It's a little bit crazy as a trader. I mean, it just shows the upside right now for Bitcoin. So we'll see if this little falling wedge on the 1 minute breaks out, hits its target. Anyway, let's jump back to the daily, and let's go to the non. I know I've been experimenting with a chart with no colors, guys. I've been experimenting. I've been told that when it's all one color, you can spot patterns a little bit better. So I'm actually experimenting, trying this out, seeing how well I'm able to spot patterns with it all being one color, and if not having that information will affect me or hurt my trading. So I will keep you guys in the loop and let you know how that goes. But for you guys, we're going to stick to the standard charts. All right. We got the daily chart right here, and I'm going to take out this Fibonacci because it doesn't fully apply here. And here we go. Let's draw some lines here, get things going. As you guys know, I lost all my TA from before. So you could draw this. That to me makes a little bit more sense on the daily chart. And then, this is actually a different chart than I've been using. Some of them they all kind of have like they're all a little different in a lot of ways. This one actually looks different than some of the ones I've been messing around with. Interesting. Yeah, so each chart is sort of a different exchange, and so different exchange actually, for the most part, they're the same, but they can actually differ in certain ways. So I'm actually a little bit really surprised by how different these are than the ones I've been using. It's usually been a lot more, you get a lot more of a true falling wedge in the other ones. This one, surprisingly, it's almost hard to draw it. Strange, very strange. Anyways, we're in this falling wedge. We dipped out, which I was talking about being very bullish, usually for the upside, which is why when we do break this to the upside, it could be pretty spectacular. I mean, we could come all the way back up. I mean, eventually it will, guys. We all know Bitcoin's supply and demand. Every halving, we decrease the supply that's available, and the demand worldwide continues to increase, especially with, look at the state of our financial system right now with massive hyperinflation in other countries. So, people are going to be like, do I stick with my currency that just, inflated 80%? Well, geez, I literally can't even like food, I have to weigh my bills to like buy food, right? It's just obvious that people are going to be like, well, shoot, like I need to buy something that, I don't know, appreciates or has like a capped, number, because this currency I'm using for my country is literally like losing buying power by the day, and I'm not being compensated wage-wise. You're not getting a raise every day to account for the loss of buying power. So you have to buy assets that appreciate. That's literally your only option. Holding that cash is literally like the worst thing you can do, right? So except for an emergency fund, always good to have an emergency fund, but that's more of an American thing. These other countries, their currencies are inflating so fast, it's almost still dumb to even, you might as well buy stuff. Go buy a bunch of food, canned food that'll last you a long time. Anything where you can buy at these prices, because again, you're just going to keep losing buying power with the way the currencies are all being inflated, and the debt, and how they're buying their own debt, and it's just a big house of cards. So Bitcoin has come right at the right time, because we need something that's outside of government and that's a capped supply. So huge fan of Bitcoin. So on the shorter time frames, I'm actually going to jump down to the 12-hour just so you can see a little bit better. We again are actually still under our 200 moving average on the 12-hour. So there's possibility of this is just a little bit of a, a bull trap, you could say, right? And of course we know, guys, we've been, up in, we had this channel here that we broke down out of. All right, we're all very aware of this, and we're getting support obviously from the bottom of our wedge here. And we're also getting support from, and we'll see if it draws similarly on this. Yeah, I'm using this new chart because I wanted to get that full, Bitcoin from most of the charts. Honestly, don't have the full Bitcoin. They don't, like they only have a little bit because the exchanges are pretty new, some of them. So they don't have the full history. They just have when they started trading Bitcoin, which can sometimes be off. So this is a new chart here that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so different. So we broke out of this wedge here, and then we came down to sort of retest. I need to pull this over. We came down to basically retest it, and now we're breaking up. So you could obviously say that the target for this pattern is up at 25,000, right? It's a valid falling wedge pattern. Some people were calling it invalid early when we broke too low, but I didn't see that. I just saw, hey, look, we broke out. We're kind of riding it. That was actually more of a fake out. We finally broke out, and then we came down, retested, and now as you can see, we're off to the races. So now we're sort of just thinking, okay, Bitcoin is probably, based on the RSI, is going to probably cool off here. One of my favorite indicators here is the RSI. Actually, no, let's go with the regular RSI this time. Regular RSI, sorry, it has the basic settings. I haven't had time to update all this. Is oversold on the 4 hour. So a lot of times you see this happen where we get oversold. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Overbought. I need to work that into my brain. I keep saying the wrong thing. We are overbought on the 4 hour, just like we were here, just like we were here, just like we were here. Usually when you get overbought on the 4 hour, that doesn't necessarily mean for sure that you're coming down. And if you do, it might not be very far. In fact, you might not really come down at all. You might just range, right? We might just range for a little bit and create sort of a bull pennant flag, a bull range before, and then while that's happening, while this is ranging, that's usually when the RSI comes back down, dips back in, and then when it breaks out, then we have a little bit more room on the RSI. Kind of the same thing happened here, right? We got a little overbought here, and as you can see, we had one more little push up, and then we had a retracement. It wasn't too far, right? I just find out exactly how much that did retrace. All right to the 0.5 retracement level, and then we continued the uptrend. So kind of similar story. Pretty much on all these is going to be very similar, where we got oversold here, overbought. Gosh dang it, we got overbought. And this one, we actually had a huge retracement on that one. Came all the way down on the RSI, then we had our next upswing again, got overbought, came down, got overbought. So I do expect a retracement coming here soon, especially since we just made contact with our 200 moving average on the 4 hour as well. In fact, I want to see where it's at on the hour. The hour was holding us down quite a bit, so it's cool to see us break above that. And as you can see, whenever you get this like curl, this is usually not a great sign. If it's a curl down, kind of like we had here, I mean, that's a great sign for the bulls, right? It had a curl, almost basically had a cup and handle, essentially. But if you're looking at the opposite way, when it's curling like this, this is usually not too great of a sign. That usually is a sign that we're coming back. And let's find out too what some levels we need to be watching for a rejection. So as you can, oh, come on. How the indicator thing gets in the way. Oh my word, this is bugging me. All right. Okay. So as you can see, we already broke past the 618, which is pretty surprising, but not very uncommon. So the obviously we're coming up here to the 0.5 retracement level. So we're starting to get some resistance. Obviously we had previous a lot of volume traded in here. So of course we're going to probably start chopping around here in this range again. And I do expect us to continue upwards. This will probably make some sort of its own retracement here before, maybe continuing, almost like you can see sort of this playing out. We come here like this, have a little retracement here, boom, have the next leg up, maybe come to our next level of resistance around here, chop around, again, retrace. We'll see, maybe, I don't know how the retracement's exactly how it's going to go, maybe to another level, then up like this. And then, guys, this right here is going to be sort of the moment, the moment we find out if Bitcoin is in a bear market still, right? This will be around 26. I mean, if it gets there by that time, right? We don't know exactly if it's going to get there or the time frame of that. But this is the line in the sand on whether or not the bull market continues. We break above this guy and we retest this maybe. Boom. It might even do kind of what it did with that falling wedge where it comes lower, right? It like grinds here, maybe even drops lower, and then boom, off to the races. So that could honestly, and that would make a lot of sense too if we did get a breakout. It's going to want to come down, retest, and also retest our previous high here. Boom, right there. And that'd be a perfect sort of send-off for us. And again, then we'd have our larger falling wedge pattern to basically, then we'd kind of see maybe the similar thing where we have those retracements and then leg up to the next high there, and then retracement down, and then leg up to the next high here, and eventually hit our target up here at our previous all-time high, 69,000. So this is very well how it could go. But if we do get rejected here, then expect a big swoop down, probably breaking our previous lows and hopefully finding support. Again, my bottom price has been about 14,000 is the lowest I think Bitcoin will go. It's about an 80% retracement. And I will probably be going absolutely 100% all in at that price. I'm not quite going all in here yet, but I still will be dollar cost averaging with small amounts. But if we ever got that wick down to those ranges, oh my gosh, it would be open season, guys. I'm sure many, many people would be buying even more. Look, there's my 1618 right here. If we do get rejected here at one of these resistance lines and continue the downtrend, that would be the price target, 14,478, which is right kind of my bottom target basically. But I am still pretty excited. In the meantime, I am cautiously longing, but as you can see, we are starting to run out of steam potentially. That's a really nice daily candle close with not a lot of, usually if you get a close like that, you've got more upside. There's really no sell pressure on it, just like a little bit. If you see previous candles that are, big like that, you usually get at least one more green candle. So as you can see, we're sort of printing that right now. So I'm sort of cautiously looking for long positions. Once the 4-hour kind of comes down and retraces a little bit, again, we're on the daily, right? So if we look at the 4-hour, we can see we did retrace a little bit, and maybe that's all it really needed to go up further. But then, obviously, once you hit the 382 here, that's when you're more cautious, looking for potential reversal. Wow, yeah, we're pumping up 21,500 right now, guys. So we're getting very close to that strong area of resistance there, which I again have this marked right here. Yeah, guys, also you guys probably know about the bullish divergences forming when they're a lot of time frames you're getting that same basically bullish divergence right here, which is the reason why we're getting such a nice pump. Boom. Bear div after bear div after bear div. So swing traders are probably opening up longs or have already opened up longs in anticipation of a move to at least the 382, possibly up to the top of the wedge, and then possibly even further. Scalpers and day traders like myself are kind of cautiously looking for longs and then maybe waiting for a reversal to 382. and just sort of trading, just mainly just trading long positions right now in the short term. Again, I tried that one short, right? And even though it was a beautiful, beautiful pattern that was playing out, it didn't hit its price target. And that's because the environment is so bullish, right? So even though that was a valid pattern that I was seeing, I wish I would have thought, Tim, you're over the 200 moving average on a lot of the shorter time frames. You are, the Heiken Ashi candles, which I like to look at quite a bit, were all, still very bullish. Pretty much you had green candles on everything except for, the 1 hour and the 2 hour, as you can see, kind of had little dips, but those candles weren't very strong either. Very weak Heiken Ashi candles. All right, if you get a trend change, you want to see, a bigger Heiken Ashi candle, kind of signifying that. We did not get those, are little baby ones. So I should have just stuck with, hey, longs only, due to the bullish nature of what we got going on. But I took a trade and didn't work out, so I will have to learn from my mistakes. I did win a trade on US 30, which you can see right here, where we had a nice little break at this level. Again, all the Heiken Ashis were still very green for the most part, and so I got a signal and figured that we were going to continue upward. And one of the reasons I thought we were going to continue upward was because the DXY, as you can see, is in a current downtrend. And as you can see, this is my wedge here that I drew, and we broke down. We retested the top and have since come down quite a bit. And we actually came all the way down to the 1618. So when I was about to take the trade, this is exactly what I was looking at. I was looking at, it was around here, and I saw that based on this trend and this beautiful 382, rejection here, that the price target was the 1618. And so since we were only here, I assumed, okay, we've got more downside on the DXY. So it just made sense getting that signal on US 30, still being in, breaking this this previous resistance, still having a nice green trend, and, feeling like high probability the DXY was going to come down to the 1618. It just seemed like a very obvious trade to take. So I went ahead and took it, and I won it. And now, again, I'm watching the DXY very closely. This right here I have marked is the 618 on the 4 hour, meaning this is where it could retrace to in the uptrend, right? We know that the DXY is in a very longer term uptrend. And I'm going to delete this real quick. And so this is actually, I'm trying to remember where exactly I drew this Fibonacci. It might have been from here maybe. Yep, so this is where I drew the Fibonacci. As you can see, this is the 618 retracement level. So in this longer term uptrend, this could, again, this rising wedge doesn't always hit the price target of all the way at the bottom. It sort of hit the mid target already, or it hit one target already, hit more support here. So this could be over, and we could see, maybe a double bottom here and then continue the uptrend, thus pushing all the assets down, right? The only reason we're seeing this Bitcoin move is because the DXY is now in this downtrend. And so I'm watching this very closely to see if we get another rejection from this trend line on the DXY. Then I'll be looking for asset prices to dump, and I'll be looking for longs on NASDAQ, US 30, Bitcoin, different things like that. So this is kind of what I've been watching mostly to see what's going to do. Guys, as always, make sure to save your money, grow your money, buy some Bitcoin, because we all know that fiat currency is the ultimate meme coin. It is basically going to be printed endlessly. I would never buy a coin with unlimited tokens, right? That's just what we call bad tokenomics. So why would I keep my money in the US dollar? Except for emergency fund or things like rent and food. There's literally no reason to hold any extra cash in cash outside of what I mentioned, emergency fund, money for expenses for however long you need them. After that, though, why would you hold a token? Why would you hold a crypto? Why would you hold anything that has an endless supply? It just doesn't, no one in their right mind would do that. So if you're holding cash for the long term, it just makes zero sense. Like, please invest, please put it in index funds, please put it in real estate, please put it in anything other than a meme coin which is the US dollar. So again, not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. Guys, see you on the next one.